file structure as well. So we have discussed about the slash root, which is a parent directory, and the hierarchy of underlying directories as well. So hope you all have a chance to go through the document I have shared with you. The same document I have shared with you all yesterday, or the uh, like Saij shared with you all. This is the document I have shared. So please feel free to let me know if you have any questions in your mind that you wanted to clarify from yesterday's discussion or the session.
Yeah, hopefully we need to do the practice. Okay.
Yeah.
So for no questions. If any questions, it'll come.
Yes, yes. So the more practice, the more you will, memorize these commands.
Yeah.
So for a DBA working on Linux, you don't need to memorize every directory and every command, but you need to know the ones the matters for the database administration, and for example, like installation, configuration, monitoring, and troubleshooting. So those directories, those commands that you need to definitely memorize, not everything. So so that's something I wanted to tell you, like the basic root directory you have to know, like what is root directory slash. Okay. So which is top of the Linux file system hierarchy. So from root only, every directory will start. Okay, without root, nothing will be there in the Linux file system. So that you need to remember. And also you need to remember about slash bin slash user bin. So it contains the system commands, like we tried yesterday some commands, right? ls, cp, all these commands will be resides in the slash bin and slash user bin. So, so you will use these basic commands for navigation, checking the disk space, process, file management, everything you will do, right? So those commands will be there in the slash bin slash user bin. Okay, so you can see slash bin. So actual directory structure looks like this. Okay, so slash bin, local, has been, include. So each directory will have a some of the directories will have their subdirectories as well. You can see over here. So this is the picture. You can just get a clear understanding. And I talked about bin, user bin. Now sbin slash user has been, okay, what it contains. So it includes system admin commands like ifconfig, mount, shutdown. Like basically administrator will do all these things. System admin commands, like any configuration a system administrator need to do. So those commands will be there in this. Okay. And then why you need to know these commands. So needed for starting or stopping the processors or services. Sometimes, like you need to start the database service, or you need to also check the network configurations, so that it'll help you to route to these right directories and use those commands. Okay. And slash etc, I told you right in yesterday, all the configurations. If you wanted to make any database configuration, those files will be there in the slash etc. If you want to make any system configurations, those files will be there in the slash etc only. So slash etc is very important for you to know, because all the configuration related files will be available in the slash etc. See, right? Slash etc. So like services start network configurations, like host. Somebody told about the slash hosts, right? etc slash hosts. And resolve, like how to resolve those fully qualified domains with the resolve.conf. And db specific configurations as well, like for example, postgre configuration file will be there in the slash etc uh, for structure only. And for oracle related oracle, like init.ora or ora tab. So those configuration files also will be there in the slash etc. Okay, so it is very important. And then slash where all the logs, spool files, variable data, all the log files will be there in the slash var. You see, right, under the slash var slash tmp slash log slash cache spool files. So when you are running some installations, those spool files also, like, the will be stored in this slash pool. Sometimes this slash var can grow big, and it can eventually stop your database working. So you need to be cautious about space management about this slash var as well. You need to clean up sometimes, and increase the space for this slash var as well. Request for increasing the space when it needed. And home slash home is something like, you will have for every user. If it is a Oracle user, you will have a slash home slash Oracle. If it is a root, slash slash root slash home. If it is something different user, that user slash home. So slash home will have some of the user related files, like, if you are creating some script with your user, so those scripts you can keep it over there. For example, if you are making an automation, you're building some scripts, you can keep those scripts under slash home. So from there you can go to the scheduler and enable schedules. And also opt slash opt, also something you need to know, which includes the any optional softwares, like, your monitoring agents or any specific database tools, files installations, you can keep it over there. And then slash temp, as I told you, right, slash temp is a temporary file structure, and it will be cleared on reboot in most cases. Okay. So it is used for installer, like, for example, if you wanted to install a database, SQL data, PostgreSQL database, so you can keep all the installation zip files in the slash temp, and from there you can load or unzip to the actual locations. So you can do that. And then apart from these mounts, some of the user defined mount points, like, customized mount points, it will be created based on the need of a database, like, for example, Oracle. So basically most of the Oracle systems will have a u01 u02 kind of a user defined mount points. For Postgre, it'll also have some different mount points that will be created based on the database you install on it. So that also you need to, as a database administrator, to navigate and do the troubleshooting or monitoring or whatever you do on the day-to-day administrative activities. Okay. So yeah, these are the important mount points that you need to remember, and you know have on your fingertips. So that'll make you more efficient when you work on the databases running on the Linux operating system.
Can I ask one question here?
Yep.
Okay. So you can suppose you have slash feature that have a bin, local, sbin, or include. These are the some file systems.
Yeah.
Yeah, suppose for example, we have configured the database Linux or maybe Oracle database, SQL database, or Postgre database. We
Mhm.
have mostly all the database of two file, one is the data file, other is the log file. So we have create customized folder here. Just say the it's a slash local, it will be a one directory or local folder.
Mhm.
So suppose I want to create a one, I have a two, three clients. Then I create a database from the ABCD client, database from the XYZ client data, and log file from the XYZ data file. So can we do this manually?
Yes, you can do it. You can do it. So these are by default, structures. Okay. Mandatory structure that, come up with the Linux. On top of, like, for example, you mentioned, right, user bin. So you can create another directory for the database instance that you have. You have a multiple databases running on the same Linux machine. You can keep it under another, each database directory you can create over here. For the logs, you can, create, like, for example, orcl1 orcl2. You can create those directories, and you can have those alert logs or logs you can store in those directories for your convenient. Like, file system is to have a more convenient way to, store your data and retrieve whenever it is needed. So you can have those structures created as well.
Okay. Because
Yep.
basically I have a new from Linux, so I have no idea. Suppose I want to create a one. directory, like suppose my data file or log file.
Hmm.
So I have created one inside. I have created underscore slash user. I have created the data directory or log directory. Then I put into file data from the data directory and log file from to log directory. Is the right way? My understanding.
Uh, Basically, for example, for any databases, we will not use log. We will use this log directories. For better for data files, we will use a separate mount point. I told you, right? No user defined mount points. That is for our convenient, like slash u01. We will create one mount point under the slash root. Okay, mkdir slash u01. So we will create one mount point, and we will store under that mount point. We will store transaction logs separately, backups separately, data files separately, and then whatever, like configuration files separately, control files separately, we can have that structure. So all the database related files, physical files, we can store it in a different structure created by us.
Okay.
So simple
Uh,
mount point is like a drive in the Windows, right?
Yes,
Separate
C D
drive.
E, yeah, you
So
have a
that's
C
common.
multiple drives, right? Yeah,
Yes.
similarly.
So mount is refers to the drive in the Windows. Yeah.
okay. Sorry to be my ask too much question.
No,
No
no, no, no,
worries,
no,
no
no. You
worries.
should ask, sir. No, everyone, whatever the questions that we are, as we are the new to the Linux environment, no, definitely we need to ask the questions. We need to clarify. Either it is simple or complex, anything, don't hesitate to ask. Okay. Yeah.
Kamal,
Yeah.
I'll tell
Thank you.
you one thing.
Yes.
As a DBA, if you are not properly understanding the structures and
Mm,
going and working on the administrative activities, without knowing what you are working, it will be really difficult for you to
mm,
enhance your knowledge, and even to increase your speed, right? The way you work on the Linux platform, to have a maximum speed, you need to really understand each and every concept that we discuss here. So I'm not talking about the administrative activities here, or I'm only focusing on the DBA related. Okay, so what it matters to our DBA, that's all. So you need to memorize that. You need to clarify if you have any question on those commands, on those directories, on those configurations, etc. Otherwise, it'll be really difficult when you go and start learning the Oracle or any Postgre, MySQL databases. You need to be really connected and have a map in your mind, like okay, these files will be there in this location. So whenever you log into the database, you can if you wanted to change a configuration, just directly go slash etc slash that configuration file, cat or vi. You can do that. So for opening the file and editing it, etc.
Thanks, Sarikant, for
Yeah,
the. If anything need, then I will connect with you
sure,
from
sure.
the side
Feel
or
free.
separate. Not an issue.
Yeah, yeah, feel free.
Thanks
All
for
right.
supporting.
All right, all right. So, well, so with that, I'm going to the next session, Linux file system and basic shell commands. So let's talk about the file system. So yesterday we have worked on some commands, right? And also talked about the structures and all. So in Linux, everything is a file. Whatever you create, it could be an application, it could be directory, it could be a file. Everything is a file in Linux. Okay, so you need to really understand this. In Linux, everything is a file. Okay, so a file system, you all know, right? In the Windows also, like why we have to have a structured file system. If you keep everything in a scattered way, it will be difficult to fetch what you need when there is a need. Okay, for example, in a library, if you keep the books in scattered manner, it will be really difficult, right? And when you need a book, going and finding that specific book, if you do not know where you kept, okay, which rack you kept, so which rack that book is, so that will be really difficult. That's why it, like file system comes in, right? So before databases also, we used to store data in the file system format only. So they used to keep, before that also, like in the olden ancient days, like they used to keep information in the records, big books, physical books, and they used to keep them in the racks. So why they have to use, like it is very easy for us to convenient way to store the information or data, and also managing the data. Storing and managing will be easy when you have a file system, right? So it is a structured method of storing and managing data, including files, directories, and metadata on your machine. Okay, so that is file system. Okay, so that is common in every operating system. Okay, but what is difference in Linux file system, I'll talk about now. So a Linux file system is set of processes that controls how, where, when data is stored and retrieved from our storage devices or storage locations. Okay, so I'll talk about, like, the logical, file system structure, logical file system, virtual file system, physical file system. So, so these structure will, manages systematically on disk drives or partitions. Okay, so each and every partition in Linux has its own file system, because Linux, I told you, right, Linux treats everything as a file, including devices, applications, directories, files, everything will be treated as a file only. Like in Windows, you will have a C drive, D drive, but in Linux, as Sai told, like, or you use mount points. So when you mount, you are mounting you are actually adding a drive. And the main difference is, like, in Windows, you will not have a root directory kind of a drive. So but here it will have a root. So everything, whatever you mount, it will be under the root only. Whatever new hard drive or new storage you add, it will be definitely be under the root only, slash. Okay, so basically this file system structured into three layers. So one is logical file system, second is virtual file system, and third is physical file system. Okay, you can see here, small picture I have drawn here. So how it is going to be connected with each other and retrieve your data. Okay, so it is at a storage level. Okay, so what logical file system is responsible for is to have a you know it will be like an interface. In Windows you will see folders, right? So like this, drive, data drive, you will see a folders, right? So like this only this logical file system shows. Okay, so when you go to a directory cd, it will show directories, right? Ls, it will show you all the directories, right? So the same thing, it will happen in the logical file system. The logical file system acts as the interface between the user application and the file system itself. So it also um, kind of provide your interface to open the file, reading uh, files, and you know copying files, or closing files. All these operations can be happen with this logical file system only. But eventually in the physical system, virtual file system will do all the necessary activities that requires for the physically storing those files or directories. So those you know virtual file system is very crucial, because that enables the concurrent operations of a multiple storages, or it could be a partition, it could be a network partition, network storage, or it could be a hard drive. So within your system, actual system, it will have a storage, right? It'll different storages. We will have network storage, local storage. That physical storage will be managed by the VFS, virtual file system. So it provides a standardized interface, allowing different file systems to coexist and operate simultaneously. For example, if it is a server, you are accessing one file system. Okay, at the same time, another user is accessing the same file system. So the virtual file system will take care of that concurrent operation to access that file simultaneously.
So, sorry, Kant,
Yep.
it's a BFS just like uh, cache memory. For example, processing data and we can process complete, then it plus. Is that right?
Uh, Not uh,
Basically,
What
in
is that? Can you come
cache.
again? What's your question?
BFS is the virtual file system. Virtual file system basically just like in SQL database, we have a buffer manager, a buffer
Yes.
cache. Yes,
Yes.
so
Uh,
that's the right way. No? Same
the similar,
way this is similar.
same, the Linux system level, VFS is same. In the SQL Server, we have the large log file VFS, right?
Yes,
Virtual file
yes.
system, the same one. Srikanth, we have in the SQL
Yeah,
Server
yeah, SQL Server is yes.
log file will have the virtual file system, right? Inside it will be log file again divided into chunks, and the chunks are
Yes,
stored in the
yes,
buffer.
yes,
So
yes.
the same structure here in the Linux file system level.
VFS as well.
That's
So,
correct.
yep. In Linux, what will happen right now? In the storage structure, I'm talking like whatever hard drive or storage that you have on the Linux operating system. So everything will be stored in the blocks. Okay, so that management also VFS only do. Like how many blocks extents required to store that particular information. So that'll taken care by the VFS only. So I'll go back to the go to the file system now, physical file system. You will understand better, like you will be able to connect to the content what I'm talking. So the physical file system is responsible for the tangible management of storage of physical memory and blocks in the disk. Okay, so it handles low level details like sorting, retrieving data, interacting directly with the hardware components. Also, this layer, physical layer, uh, ensures the efficient allocation and utilization of the physical storage resources. Okay, so it'll ensure that if you are having a file that needs to be stored on the storage, so it'll ensure that where it needs to be stored. So how many blocks or how many extents needs to be allocated for the storing of that file. Okay, so it'll definitely help you in storing those files in a more efficient way. Okay, so this is at a high level. You don't have to go in deep in an uh, uh, struggle about this, just to give you high level, like what kind of structure it'll have and what logical file system VFS and physical file system does. Because when you are doing an installation, and sometimes if you are doing a tuning, performance tuning of a database systems, you need to really understand which file system that Linux is running with. Okay, so there are different file systems available in the Linux. Okay, so these are the file systems, like it started from ext, ext2, ext3, ext4, jfs, all these file systems available in the Linux file system. So which means, like how your data needs to be stored will be defined with these file systems only.
Srikanth, just adjust a bit your mic, a bit
Uh,
low audio. Yeah.
okay, is it fine now?
Yep. Now
Okay,
loud.
okay.
Thanks.
So cool, thank you, Sai. So each file system will have their own characteristics, like how space needs to be managed, and file names, directory, metadata, utilities, design. So all things will be depend on what file system you choose here. For example, if you choose ext2, right, ext2 file system, so it will have it some limitations, like it can only store 2 GB of one file maximum. Okay, or ext, each file system will have their own characteristics, but the most recent file system is ext4 or xfs. So it can store one data file into, I think, petabytes of storage. It can have for one file. If you're using a database, if a database wants to grow big, one file data file wants to grow big, if you're having a ext2, it won't help you, because after the 2 GB, it cannot allocate any more blocks to that file. Okay, so when you use ext4 or xfs, Yes, that data file can grow bigger. So nowadays, data is massively growing, and those data files also growing big. You need to have a right file system to have a right configurations for your databases.
So this is similar to when we are creating a drive in the
NTF,
Windows level,
NTFS, right? NTFS.
NTFS,
Yeah,
FAT32,
yeah,
exFAT, so different file
yeah.
systems, so the type of file systems there when we are creating a drive,
Yes.
it refers to the same.
Yeah. So when we for optimal file usage, we will select 64 bytes, right? While you are allocating a drive in the Windows operating system.
Yes.
Similarly, here also for optimal file usage, we will use either ext4, ext4, or XFS.
Mm.
Similarly, NTFS, FAT32. FAT32 is old, ext,
Mm.
ext2,
Yes.
ext3 as old file systems. And the new file systems in the Linux is ext4 and XFS. The same
Yeah,
XFS is there in the Mac also. Yeah.
in Windows, we have a 8 KB file page setup. Same way here will be a ext4 64 KB page setup. Default 64 KB. So we get a performance from reading or writing data from this
Yes.
ext4 or SFX files.
Yes.
Right? No?
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
That's correct.
Those are optimal file systems. That no
Yes.
new file systems that Linux built. So those are the best file systems for your databases.
Understand. Mm.
Okay. Just high level only. You don't have to go in deep. You need to understand which file system I need to use it for my database installation. So while you're basically these things will be taken care by the administrator only. While they are building by default, they'll keep it ext4 only if you need a storage or XFS.
Yes, Srikanth, it's right, but sometimes we need to understand. Suppose my
Yep.
database log file not growing more than 2 GB, so then why need to extend ext4? It's we are everyone be due to the cost optimization. So we get a
But there is no
ext2,
cost
then
involved. It is by default available in the Linux file systems, right?
okay,
So
okay,
the underlying structure will be changed for each and every
okay,
file system, header, tail, all this. That is a different concept. I don't want to get there because so
okay.
that'll confuse you more. Though how
Yeah,
file looks like, it'll have a header, it'll have a metadata, it will have a blocks, all this. So each block, how many bytes it'll have, all these things will be different. I don't want to go there, but I just wanted to give you a high level, what are the different file systems we have, and what is the right file system we can choose for our databases. Even it grows or not growing, use a efficient file system. Those are old file system. They still keep it in the Linux because they the source code they keep it everything. Nowadays, in Linux 9 and 8 versions, they have changed VI to Nano, but still VI will work there. Nano is something a little more efficient way of modifying the files or saving the files. But VI is older one, which I'm more comfortable with VI than Nano. So I use VI only. So that's all. Like the same thing here also. Okay. Any further questions? We'll go to the basic command uh, files, basic shell commands.
yeah. Please go ahead.
Yeah.
Srikanth.
So I have distinguished these commands based on their characteristics. Okay. So yesterday we spoke about a few commands, right? RM, mkdir, move, cp. I have shared those document as well, how to use these commands. So these commands basically you have to know for file management. Okay. Copying, move, remove. RM means remove, mkdir, making a directory. So for example, you wanted to copy a file from one location to another location, we'll use a file. So all the file management will be taken care by these commands only. Okay. So you need to know as a DBA, you need to know these four commands for file management. Okay, you need to copy your database configuration files one location to another location, or you need to copy a installation uh, zip file from one location to another location, or any sort of database files to move from one location to another location. You need to know about this. If you wanted to create a user-defined directories, mkdir we will use, and you wanted to remove any file, rm. Okay, if you want to rename any file, mv, move, we will use. Okay, file management, these four commands very important for you as a DBA. And navigation, this yesterday we spoke about, right? CD, changing directory, pwd, present working directory, which directory you are in. Okay, for example, in Windows, like you will get to know like here in the graphical user interface, right? So which direction you are in. So D drive, if I go my VMware data, so which directory I'm in. Okay, VMware data. So but in Linux you will work on the CLI, so you will not be able to see the entire directory paths. So you have to use this command to know which directory you are in. For example, if you are trying to install a database, Oracle, you need to go to the Oracle home. It is a slash u01 app Oracle or slash mm, DB home. There you will have a installable files, and from there you will install. So you need to go definitely to that path. So to know whether you are in that path or not, you need to use this pwd command. Similarly, like for Postgre also, it will have their own directories. You have to make sure that you are in the right path or not. That's all. It's very simple. Like it's just a command line, but if you type this, you will get to know like which directory you're in. And list all directories files. This is for navigation basically. Okay, so I distinguish to navigation and text processing. So cat, grep, short, and head. Okay, so I will talk about with the real time on the Linux box tomorrow. But for today, you just understand like these distinctions and try to memorize these commands as well. So we will use these commands tomorrow to cat any file. So what it does, like it'll open a file and for the reading. Okay, it'll display entire file for reading, and grep, it'll search the file. If you have an error in a file, you wanted to only see the error, you can use this grep hyphen error, so it's a file, and that entire file, what is the errors it has, it will only show that errors. Okay, so because as a DBA sometimes you need to go to the log file and see if there are any errors, you can use this error, and you can also automate this command in the cron tab. I told you, right, scheduler. So to give you a email whenever there is an error in your database log file, you can do that with this grep. And short and head, so you can look at the log file at head, and you can short the log file also. Everything you can do with this text processing commands. Okay, so these commands are also important for you to work on your day-to-day operations in the database. And system monitoring, so here you can top, I'll just quickly show you top what will happen with top. Okay, let me increase this font size. What happened? Okay, network timeout error. I'm just connecting to my Linux box. So top, it'll show you your CPU.
Srikanth, can you please increase font
Yes,
size
yes,
more?
yeah,
Mm.
yeah, yeah. I'm trying to do that. What will happen? Yes, yeah, yeah, yeah. Can you see it now? Even bigger,
This will be
even
fine.
more bigger.
Uh,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yes, please go
Okay.
ahead.
So I just type the top command. So in Windows, you will have this, right, task manager. Okay, I'm just showing you like which program is using more CPU. The similarly, you can use the more CPU consumed services here. Okay, so you can see Oracle, all this SHT top different commands or different processors that are using your CPU time more. Okay, to know more, to know how your CPU working, on which processor it is working more. Just a simple command top. So it will not have any graphical interface, right? To go ahead and check like in the Windows Task Manager. So this simple command will help you to check the CPU. Okay, and also DF. DF means file system. I'll show you how to check that. Okay, where is it? Okay, just simply Control C means it'll quit the process. Okay, whenever you see like something is not exiting, just Control C. That is an option to quit that. Okay, and I wanted to show you DF hyphen DF. What is DF? Okay, this is a file system. Okay, so you can see all the file system details over here. So you have the root and other file systems also. So like Sai told, right, while you're installing, you give a uh, system, like system will take whatever the storage it can allocate to these file system, that'll do it, and that'll get you here. Okay, so these are the file systems, and if you are not able to see like it is only showing in a blocks format, but if you want to see in a GB format, df-h, you can see like MB or GB. Okay, this file systems like sizes. So if you just type df, it'll show you in the format of blocks, the space that allocated for those file systems. But when you do this df-h, this option if you give, so it will give you with the MBs or GBs available and used, allocated, and mounted on. Okay, so these things will be shown here. That's all. So these things also you need to know, like sometimes you need to see in a database server how my file systems are utilized, how my database file systems are utilized. Do you need to add additional space? My database is growing, so do you need to add additional space? You can take that decision based on this. And yeah, that's it. Yeah. Yeah, coming to this folder. Yeah. So this is for system monitoring. Okay. So there's a command called free also, just to see your memory. Yeah. So free memory, used memory, swap memory, everything, all those informations will be shown here. Okay. So what is the free memory you have? What is the used memory it has? So that also just simple command you can use it for. I will type that also. Okay. So those are like system monitoring commands that you need to know, and permission and ownership, ch mode, ch own, ch group. So these like changing the ownership of the directories, changing the ownership of the file, changing the ownership of the uh, changing user mode, like ch mode is for changing the user, changing the group. We can use these commands. So user group permissions. Okay, permissions and ownership, we will have these commands. So each command will have their different options. We can try out those during our practical session. Okay, and then networking, ping, wget, curl, ssh, scp, ftp. I will talk about this also, like ping, like generally like Windows also, or we will just ping servers, right? The same thing it is also in networking. Wget, if you wanted to download a file from the internet, wget that file URL you can give. If it will get that file downloaded to your Linux machine directly. Curl is also like if you wanted to create a M repository, this curl will help you to create that, and have some network links that you wanted to bind with. You will use this curl ssh. FCP, FTP, file transfer protocol, secured copy, SSH is like that we are using right to access systems remotely. So those things also I will explain you guys in the networking and comparison and archiving. So compression and archiving, right? So tar, gunzip, these are utilities like you have Windows like Windows zipping. So to zip or compress any file, you will convert them to the zip, right? The same way it has a tar, uh, gunzip, gzip, zip, unzip. Unzip is like extracting the files. Okay, so these are different utilities Linux has. Mostly we will use zip, unzip, or gzip. So it depends on your need we can use. So all the utilities are available by default with the Linux. These are basically utilities you can use it whenever you wanted to compress or archive any folder or a file in the Linux operating system. Package management, so when you want to install uh, uh, RPM or any uh, executable installable files binaries, that you will use yum or dnf or apt-get. So these are the different package management commands. So yum install so and so rpm, okay, that you need to install on the server for your database dependencies. You can use yum or dnf. Both are same. Dnf is latest one from Linux 8.0. You can use dnf, but previously yum is the one. We can m and apt-get are the two commands we used to use for installing any packages. And process management, kill, kill all, bg, kill all. So the basically like when you wanted to kill a process, so then you will use this command. For example, if you see a zombie process running in your Linux that you wanted to kill, you can just kill -9 that process ID. You can that process ID where you can get is like from top you used a command, right? There you can see the process name and process ID. You will figure it out like which process it is and what is the process ID. So you can simply give kill -9 that process ID. It will kill that particular service. So it is basically stopping our services or killing the services that you don't need, that is consuming more memory, that is the culprit for your database server to uh, performance glitch or performance bottleneck it is creating. If you wanted to stop it, then you can use it. Kill -9 that process ID. So kill all bg, all we will try it in the Linux box tomorrow. So just to give you overview, these are the important commands that you need to know and memorize as a DBA. Okay, how many commands you got? 4, 7, altogether like 30 commands. 30 commands and 10 directories. That's all you need to memorize. Remaining all you don't have to worry about. Am I
And
clear to you
even
all?
in Windows level also we
Yes,
do
sir.
the same activity, right? Checking the network
Yes.
files and directories. If you wanted to kill some process, we need to go to the activity monitor. Oh, these are the activities we perform: zipping and zipping. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah. Same. See SSHD here. You see a PID. I will if I kill SSHD, my session will be gone. So just to show you this in practical, I'll show you.
Srikant, the audio again it is
Can you
low.
repeat? Can you repeat, Srikanth?
Uh, uh,
That said,
this is the PID I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
When you wanted to kill any command,
okay, process ID.
process ID. So I wanted to kill SSHD. Now I copy this. Okay, Control C. I come out of the top utility. So now kill -9. What will happen? We'll see. Okay, I'm killing that. So my session gone. The SSH service is shut down in the Linux. So my session got stopped. Okay, just to show you how we can kill a. process.
Because what is
Sir,
iPhone 9?
hyphen 9, kill hyphen 9 means, sir.
Yeah, kill -9. We will talk about the options. So kill is the command. So 9 is the option. Like it'll gracefully stop the service. Okay, it'll have
This
like
means
Use another number like 8
forcefully,
or 7.
forcefully stop the services.
yeah, yes, forcefully. In order to start my SSHD, I need to log in and start the SSH service because that SSHD only we will use it for connecting remotely, right? So
Sir, can we use 8 or something, any number, sir?
sorry, 8. I will talk about those. Like what are the
We'll get the options.
yeah. We'll so simply if you wanted to know that, so I told you right. There is a manual. Okay, this command man kill space man. You will get all the details or kill space hyphen L. You will get in a brief manner all the information. So what I'll to do, this is a graphical way. I will still have to go to the command line only to start that. So now I'm with the admin only. I don't know whether I have the permissions and just try system CTL start SSHD. It will ask for the password. Why it is asking? Okay, so I will also talk about this how to start command services, etc. So don't worry. We have some more time right now. I will explain all these commands day wise. So I will just check like whether it is start or not. System CTO. Sorry, I used okay. SSH status. Wait. SSHD. Yes, it's running now. So I can again access the session or for restart. Yes, it came, right? So now again, if you see that process, you will be able to see ps-ef grep. I will tell you these commands also how to check processes. Grep is I told you right, searching a file. So SSHD. So it is showing the SSHD is running with root. Okay. And who are all connected with this SSH also it will show. That's all. Got it right?
Yep. Yes, Srikanth.
Yes,
All
we
right.
can.
These are the basic commands any DBA should know. Without knowing this, you won't be able to perform any administrative activities on your database system running on Linux. All right. Any questions?
So, Srinath, right now, not from my side because I have not practiced too much. So, I have not question right now.
Yeah, I
You
have
can,
given some commands and talked yesterday. You can practice those commands for tomorrow. And when we group together tomorrow, we will try other commands which we did not try yesterday. We will try them and see like permissions on ownership, cat, grep short, all these commands we will try tomorrow, and we'll see like how we can practice more and with the different options. So you talked about kill, right? I'll show you. So kill man. Oh, sorry, man kill. It's not killing man. Man means manual. It will give you a manual of the kill command. So you can see different options here, right? Arguments. So all the arguments. Okay. So somebody asked right yesterday, help also there. Like, what is the difference between manual and help? I documented that as well. Manual give entire comprehensive document of that command. Okay. So when quit, okay, I'll use qui. Okay, quit. Okay. Uh, kill hyphen hyphen help. It will just give you a brief. Okay. It won't give you a whole lot of information. So it will just give you a brief.
Sorry,
Gotcha.
kill hyphen hyphen.
Kill hyphen hyphen help
Help.
to know the brief information about that command.
Okay.
Yesterday I asked this.
Yeah, yeah. So this is the difference, like man and kill. Sorry, man and help.
Same time get a PowerShell get help get
Yes,
CMD
yes,
Mm,
yes,
release.
yes.
same, same.
Similarly,
Mm.
same here.
Hello, sir.
Earlier I know help, but
Hello,
man, yesterday you said okay. That's the
sir.
question.
So man is older way of checking the complete
Uh-huh.
details of the command, but
Okay.
help came later. So as it
Okay.
evolving, yeah.
Mm.
So which is the better? Kill hyphen hyphen help is the better, no?
Yes,
Help
yes.
is a better. It
Better way.
give
Yes.
you direct
Give the
information
completely
itself.
information ke what
Yeah.
we do, how can
In a,
we follow the
yes,
syntax and everything, no?
yes, yes. Correct.
Srikant, I can disturb you more. I can get your contact from Sahi. Then I can disturb more. Sometime ping in WhatsApp.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
need your help.
No problem, no problem, no problem. So see, the practice, the more you practice, the more you will get comfortable, right? So once in a while, if you go and work on the Linux system, it will be definitely be a difficult. Okay, if you are a DBA and wanted to work on this Oracle, MySQL, Postgre, MongoDB, you definitely have to in touch with Linux every day. Every day, something you do it, some new thing, some experiment, writing a script to copy one file, bash script, copy one file from one location to another location, or figuring out errors in a error log, anything that just experiment. Take time until you get more familiar with the Linux operating system. Take time every day, at least spend 15 to 20 minutes of time logging into the Linux box and try all these commands. If you are unsure about what the command is, like use this help or man to know more about each argument, when we have to pass those arguments. For example, I sometimes I will use uh, uh, zipping, unzipping I talked about, right? We can simply unzip that file name we can give also. So, but if you give hyphen q, what will happen? Unzip hyphen q that file name, zip file. So what will happen? So it will quietly do the unzipping. So when you just give unzip that file name, it'll show all the verbose information to you in the Linux screen. You don't want to see that. You can just wanted to complete the operation and exit from the tool. Then you can just unzip hyphen q. I'm just talking example here. Okay, don't get confused. We will use all the options where we have to use those options. So how we can use those options, I will talk about tomorrow session. But
Sir,
just
will
for
you
your
provide
reference,
further
I'm talking.
sir, commands we are practicing purpose. Will you provide further routes?
Sorry. Yes, yes, yes. I will. Yesterday also I have provided notes. Sai has shared with you all, right? So you can practice them.
Srikant, we have here will be a right permission base. Suppose uh, admin have a 7098 or 698. How can we identify which user have a which permission? Root have a 7102. This is the permission.
How can we have a which user have which permission? Okay.
Yes, because we have not idea. Because window we have a right click and go to property. This
Correct.
is the
So here
read write pro.
ls command, right? Just for
Yes,
navigating, we will
else.
use. So ls hyphen ltr. These three
Yes.
options you have to give. So it will show you So you can see tr, wxr, read, write, executive permissions. You can see here. And Oracle is the user and o install is the group.
Oracle is the user, OS install is the
O
group.
install. O
Okay,
install is a group. Okay.
okay,
So
install.
yeah, yeah. So you can see like with the if you are in a directory and you want to see that in the directory files or other directory subdirectories are with user, it has the most permissions and by default root will have everything. So he's a god. Root is a super user. He will have all the permissions. When you working on the databases, your database user needs to have a certain permissions. At that time, whether your user have the permissions or not, you can simply use this command lsfnltr to check whether your user and your group have the permissions to execute those files or write, copy, do any operations for those files.
So XR means execute permission.
Yes, X means execute. So there will be a
Well,
numbers also. There will be a numbers also for file permissions and group permissions. I will talk about that, like 7 7 5 7 4 5, like that. We will mention like for each permission what it no denotes, like so that I will talk in the permissions and file permissions and groups.
okay.
Okay,
Thanks,
in
Sarkant.
the future sessions we will talk that.
Sure, sure, sure.
Yeah, so that is also important for you for database administrator to know.
Yes.
Okay, all right. All right, we are all
Thanks,
good for today.
thanks, Sarkant. Thanks, Sai. Good
Great,
Yeah,
session
great.
today.
Mm.
Great session.
even more interesting when we start on the real time, when you also start working on these commands on your Linux test machine. It'll be fun.
Yeah, sure. Mm, we can try to enjoy.
All right,
Okay.
all right, cool.
Okay. We
I
will
will
see the
stop the
comments for
recording.
today's as well. Okay. Stop.
Okay.